Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a brand new tablet with us here again. Seems like it's tablet month because there's so many tablets being released. But today we are actually featuring one of the brand new tablets from HONOR. It's called the HONOR MagicPad 3 13.3. It's got quite a fair bit of very new and useful features, so let's just jump straight into it and find out who this tablet is ready for. Let's go. Now, first things first, let's talk a bit about the price. So it's retailing for RM2 999, which sits right under 3,000 ringgit, and it comes with quite a fair bit of things over here. So in terms of the packaging, you not only get the tablet itself, you get a keyboard case, you get a stylus, you get a charger, the cable, 66-watt charger by the way. You get everything that you might need in the box, so you don't have to go and search for accessories online. Pretty neat. Now, moving on, let's talk a bit about how these accessories actually work because there's been some upgrades over here. For the keyboard case itself, what you do now is actually connect it via this tiny magnetic pogo pins. It's not like before where you actually use Bluetooth, so these magnetic pogo pins actually creates a more stable connection. Now, speaking about the keyboard case, there's also a couple of things that I should highlight over here. Now, first up is obviously the material is very smooth to the touch, it's very nice. Very comfortable to actually type on. You have a decent kind of a key travel over here. And we just zoom in onto the keyboards or the keys themselves. You notice that we do have a couple of very useful shortcuts. We have app 1 and app 2, which basically means shortcut keys that you can assign to any app that is already in the tablet. So I personally actually set it up to two of my favorite apps, which is Instagram as well as Chrome. Furthermore, you also have one AI button. With just one tap of this 4 squared button, basically it launches up my Google Gemini and I can just ask stuff, anything on my screen and all that. So it's again, very, very convenient. More importantly, I think the entire keyboard experience is just very similar to that of a laptop, because if you just take a look at the size itself, this is a 13.3-inch device. It's quite large. And if you compare it to standard laptops out these days, Ultrabooks and all that, they're actually about the same size. So the entire setup works just like that. Now, in case you're wondering how I actually flip this thing or tilt my device, all you need to do is actually fold the upper half of the keyboard case like so, and then you can actually tilt to any kind of angle that you want. Fun fact, you can even flip it around and then let it lie on the other side, so you can actually draw on it without having to remove the case. So I think that's also, it depends on how you want to work around it, but it's actually a very clever case. Now, moving on, one cool thing about this device here is that it now supports HDMI out support. So if you actually have a spare display lying around, or if you just want to up your productivity game, you can always just link this out via Type-C, by the way, to another external display, and you can have that two-screen kind of setup. Alright guys, now that we've taken a look at what you got in the box, let's take a look at the device. Now, starting off with the design, we actually have a very nice look over here. The entire back panel is made of this really nice kind of matte texture, which also prevents fingerprints, and it still maintains its boxy kind of look. That means flat backs, flat sides, but actually curved edges on the side so it doesn't poke into your palm. Furthermore, it's also very slim and very lightweight. That means that carrying it around, even though it's such a huge size, it won't really be too much of a hassle. Now, moving on, in terms of the display, what we get at the front is actually a larger 13.3-inch LCD panel. Now, I know some of you might say, why no more OLED panel? And yes, trust me, I myself also miss the OLED panel, but this is actually a very strong LCD panel. Not only are you getting a higher resolution at 3.2K, the frame rate has also been bumped up to 165 Hz. So the whole experience is actually so much smoother regardless of whether you're just browsing on the web or if you are actually playing games. Now, another thing to mention is that the display itself also supports 7 types of advanced eye comfort tech. So you have your TUV run lens certified for your low blue light, your flicker free, you have so many other features, even motion sickness relief, just to ensure that you have a more comfortable experience when you're watching shows or looking at the display for a long period of time. Now, just a very quick personal experience on the display. I've been watching a lot of Netflix, especially if you have a strong internet connection. Netflix here is supporting up to full HD, so you're still going to be able to enjoy your shows at very high clarity. I've been watching Oppenheimer again a couple of times now. The colors just pops on the HONOR MagicPad 3. Even if you're watching or binging TV shows like Wednesday, you're still going to get a very, very nice picture over here. Now, in fact, the audio experience is also very, very good. We actually have 8 speakers on here, and it just gets so loud, very rich kind of sound, and it just gives you, so much better than how you actually hear it on your phone or maybe on other tablets. I will actually put a very quick clip at the end of the video comparing it to your phone and this tablet, just so you actually have an idea on the difference between the kind of speakers over there. So you might want to use your headphones for that, but that will be placed at the end of the video. Now, moving on, in terms of performance, powering this tablet is actually the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It's got even better enhanced cooling. And if you're going to be using the HONOR MagicPad 3 here for heavy multitasking, just switching between apps, using all your documents and all that, launching very heavy PowerPoints, is all going to run very smoothly on the HONOR MagicPad 3. Even if you are going to be, during your leisure time playing a couple of games like your Mobile Legends or even Genshin Impact, I think you'll still be able to enjoy a very satisfying experience over here. Don't forget, although the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is not this year's flagship chipset, it still has a lot of performance going for it. Now, moving on, in terms of the battery, we've got a larger battery here now. So this time it's using the silicon carbon tech. Finally, it's got a 12,450 mAh unit. I've been using this for the better part of a week now, and I've only charged it twice. And it supports 66-watt fast charge, just in case you're wondering about that. It gets to 100% in 83 minutes, so slightly more than an hour. But for a battery of this size, I would say that the charging speed is actually pretty good. Alright guys, so now that I've talked about the specifications, what's new and all that, and now let's talk a bit about a couple of free applications, very useful applications that actually built into the HONOR MagicPad 3 that you can use for free. Now this is going to be very important for remote workers. If you're looking to get a tablet to replace your laptop, this part might actually be very important for you. So first up, we actually have HONOR Docs. Now this is sort of like a PC grade kind of a Windows Office. If you want to put it that way, you can actually sync your files to the cloud. It's free to use, don't forget that, and it also supports all kinds of formats that you are already familiar with. So like I said earlier on, with this keyboard, you can actually use your documents here, your Word, your PowerPoint, or your Excel by using all the shortcut keys that you're already familiar with using on the computer directly on the MagicPad 3. Now moving on, we also have HONOR Notes that has been upgraded with a lot of features. So I've actually covered this in the previous video, but just to give you a very quick recap, you have stuff like AI summary, AI formatting, you can record like a lecture and all that and change the speech to text, or even translate it if you don't understand what the lecturer is saying, and you have so many more other features that's already built into the HONOR Notes app. In case you are someone who actually takes up a lot of calls, video calls, meetings, or maybe remote learning, it's worth mentioning that the tablet now comes with AI voice print noise cancellation, and that basically cancels out all the noise in the background just so that everyone can hear you a little bit clearer. Now moving on, I've not forgotten about the stylus or the pencil that I've been holding for a very long time now. So yeah, in terms of the sensitivity, it's very good. I would say that it's almost getting closer and closer to one-to-one, just like how you're writing on a piece of paper. You can see that whenever I just write on the screen, it actually follows my movements very closely. It's excellent for writing notes and great for drawing pictures if you want to do that on the tablet as well. Now last but not least, in terms of connectivity, we also have HONOR Connect that's supported here, just in case you want to transfer files between an iOS device, Windows, or other Android phones. And you also have HONOR's Magic Ring that allows you to interact with your own HONOR devices for the entire HONOR ecosystem. So at the end of the day, who is this HONOR MagicPad 3 for? Well, I would say that if you're in the market looking for a brand new tablet, you're looking for something about this size, 13.3 inches. Maybe you're looking to get a laptop, but you don't want that laptop experience. You want to be able to, have some flexibility, remove the keyboard to have that tablet experience, a hybrid kind of experience. Well, I would say that you might want to check out the HONOR MagicPad 3. For RM2,999, you're getting a very strong performance here, not just by the tablet itself, but also with the entire package together with the keyboard as well as the stylus. Anyway, if you have any further questions about this particular tablet, let me know down in the comment section below. Hopefully today's video has helped you out in a way or another. Thank you for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Do take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.